Hi, I'm Jackie. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed today's video. And for my returning subscribers, it's always good to have you back. In today's video, we are going to be talking about my Yeas or Nays. That's just the name I use for my monthly favorites. However, I haven't done one of these videos in quite a while, so it's not going to be really my monthly favorites, but it's going to be about products that I have used over the course of several months that I really have come to enjoy, and I just wanted to share those products with you. So if you're ready to jump into today's video, then let's go ahead and get started. So the first product that I do want to talk about, I shared with you guys in my empties video, but I told you I had a couple more on deck. So I have opened up this Mary Kay Satin Hands. Now this one is the fragrance-free hand cream, and I have just grown to like this product so much. I shared with you in the empties how my hands have become so dry, and they would just scratch against the covers at night because of all the antibacterial soaps and disinfectants that I have been using, the Clorox wipes, all of that. And so this really brought my hands back to life. It just moisturized them so much. So since I've been using this, and it worked so quickly, it was like a 2 or 3 day turnaround where my hands were starting to feel really moisturized and hydrated again. I didn't have that scratchy feeling. They didn't look like they were dried out. And this has just been a product that I liked using so much. I think I have maybe 2 more of these, but this is something I definitely will repurchase because I'm still using the antibacterial soaps and also the Clorox wipes and just the disinfectants in general. I'm still wearing my mask. So I like the way this showed me such a quick turnaround in moisturizing and hydrating my hands. So this has become an item that I have fallen in love with, and I definitely would repurchase again. And next up, kind of with skincare, I do have these makeup remover towelettes. Now I used to get the Equate brand, but I honestly just don't go to Walmart all that often. So I picked this up at the local grocery store, and this is just the store brand, Hill Country Fair. And again, these are makeup removing cloths. I use these a lot. I use them a lot with swatches. I use them because they're so expensive that I don't mind using them for swatches as well. I use them if I'm really not wearing foundation. If I'm just using powder, I'll use it to take off my makeup at night, and then I'll go in and use my cleanser. But I like these wipes. They're very hydrating. They're not dry wipes that how you start to get to the bottom, they start to dry out. They're very hydrating down to the very last wipe. So I just really enjoy using these. Like I said, they're so inexpensive. This one has 25 cleansing towelettes in it, and because of the price, I don't mind using them as on my swatches as well. So this is something I have picked up a lot. I do still love the Equate ones, and I love the Equate. Sometimes they have the double towelettes, but like I said, I just don't get to Walmart all that often, and the grocery store is just most convenient to me. So this is something that I definitely will repurchase, and I like using these to take off my makeup as well. Next, we're just going to go ahead and get to the palettes that I have been honing in on and enjoying so much. And I'm going to try to, I don't think I have looks done with all the palettes, but the ones that I do have, I will have a look. I will pop a look up on the screen. The first palette that I want to talk about is the Glam Light Dirty Martini palette. And this is what it looks like right here. And I did create a look with this palette, and I enjoyed it so much. This palette is stunning. So stunning. These shades in here, all of them are so vibrant. The metallic shades in here just pop so much. And I just like this color story. I love a green eyeshadow look. And this palette It just gives you everything that you could want. So this palette was one that I used. It's from the Happy Hour collection with Glam Light. So this is one of the palettes that I picked up that I used and just quickly fell in love with. Like I said, this color story is great, and there's not a dud that I have tried so far, because I haven't used every shade in the palette, but the ones that I have used, there's not a dud in the bunch. So I've really enjoyed using this palette. And again, this is called the Dirty Martini palette, and I highly recommend it. And it is still available on the Glam Light site. And keeping with the Happy Hour theme, because I purchased 2 of the palettes from Glam Light. Now this one I thought would be a good kind of everyday palette. So I picked this one up, and this is the Chocolate Martini palette. Show you what this one looks like. And I thought this was going to be a everyday palette, but when I tell you this palette brought the heat, this palette is stunning. I did a very, in my opinion, a very pretty chocolate eye look with this palette. And this is nothing everyday about this. I mean, you could create an everyday look. I've used this shadow, I think this one, and maybe this one for an everyday look as I was going to work, but this palette is so much more than just an everyday palette. I like this one again so much, and every shade that I have used in this palette just pops. This was my first time using any palettes from Glam Light, but Glam Light's formula is A1. I like it, and I would definitely purchase from the brand again. Next up, I want to talk to you about some of my single shadows that when I wasn't doing Shop My Stash, I was just honing in on these single shadows. And these are from Colourpop. This is just an empty palette that I got. That's filthy. This is called You're Dreaming. These single shadows were just right up my alley. Like I said, I wasn't doing really a formal Shop My Stash, but I was just reaching for these shades that were in this palette. These single shades. I could create so many looks with these single shadows. I just used them around the clock. Every day I was using these shades for work. This palette has so many shades that you can pop in your outer corner to create a smoky or deepening outer V look. And then I have some pretty metallics in here that you can put on the lid. You can even get kind of a neutral look with this palette. You can amp it up for a colorful look. These shadows are just wonderful. They're so buttery. They're so creamy. And this is just a great formula for their single shadows. Now, I want to mention that these two right here and these two right here are not Colourpop, but the rest of these are. I also have some Colored Rain shadows right here, and then these are some of my Anastasia Beverly Hills, these two right here. But the rest of these are Colourpop, and their formula for their single shadows as well as their eyeshadows are magnificent. But I just pulled out my single shadows because I found that I wasn't using them all that often. And I mean, I didn't need to reach for anything else. I didn't need to reach for another palette. I had everything that I needed in single shadows right here. And I was able to create some very pretty looks. I just found myself using this palette and loving it. So this, for me, was a perfect palette to use just when I wasn't really using eyeshadow palettes or I wasn't really doing a Shop My Stash. I just pulled this and I didn't need any other palette to go along with it. So this from Colourpop, these shadows, they're just great. They are just buttery smooth. The pigment is there and I enjoyed using these. Next up is a palette that I got for half price, and this is by Natasha Denona. And this is the Love palette that I have been loving so much. I have been using this shadow around the clock. It's such a pretty color story, and to me, it's more than just your normal Valentine's Day palette. I think this can actually go for just an everyday palette, not just a Valentine's Day. You can use this all year long. Now, I have found with these two shades, they're kind of like topper shades, what I've discovered. And so you would have to put another shade down on top and then pick up one of those to top it off to get them to show up better than if you would just place them on your lid. But again, this palette right here is a great color story. The shades show up very nicely, very vibrantly. And I just, like I said, I think it's more than just a Valentine's Day palette. I would pick this up all year long because you definitely have those outer corner shades. You can create more than just a pink look with this. So I picked this up and I was stoked that I was able to get it for half price. So I love this palette and I'm glad that I have this one in my collection. Now, another palette that I picked up from Colourpop. Oh, I had no idea. Do you hear me? I had no idea. And I will definitely put the look that I created up on the screen. But this palette, when I picked it up and I showed it to you guys in a haul that I did, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna like that, you know. But oh, jeez, let me just show you. This is called the Colourpop Lush Life palette, or yeah, Lush Life, and it is so gorgeous. I love the look that I created with this palette. Let me show you what it looks like on the inside. Oh, this is stunning. This palette, again, is available still. Don't sleep on this palette. Get your hands on this palette because it is amazing. I love it so much. And the, you know, what else can I say about Colourpop's formula? They have good eyeshadows. They just have a good eyeshadow formula. Everything shows up really nicely. And I just love the look that I created with it. I got a lot of compliments on it when I posted it on Instagram. So this palette is definitely something like, if you like green tones, they have the little pop of blue, but if you like really green eyeshadow like I do, this is definitely a palette that I would consider picking up and adding to my collection. And again, this palette, as far as I know, I haven't been on Colourpop in a while because I get in trouble. But this palette, as far as I know, is still available. And you know, Colourpop is always having a 15, 20%, 25% off their palette sale. So I would definitely consider adding this to your collection because this showed up so nicely on my lid. This palette helped me to create such a beautiful look, and I'm glad I have it. Okay, so those are all the eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to share with you in today's video. Let me just share something kind of random that I've had for quite a while, but I really never used it all that often. And that is my Cinema Secrets. Have you guys heard of that? This is Cinema Secrets professional grade makeup brush cleanser. Now, what I love about it is that it is quick drying and it is a rinse-free formula. So I have been using this quite a bit. Most of the times, if I have my color switch handy, I'll just, you know, take off the color with my color switch. But I have noticed if I'm using a deep dark color and I want to make sure all of it's off, that I'll use my Cinema Secrets, and I just keep it right here because this is normally where I do my makeup. I'm going to show you also the little tin that comes with. Okay, this is the little tin that comes with it, and what you do is you just pour the brush cleaner in here, take your makeup brush and swirl it in the cleaner, and it just takes it off. Then what I do is just wipe it off onto a paper towel. Like it says, there's no need for you to rinse after that. Your brush, after you just wipe it a couple of times on the paper towel, your brush is good to go. No need to rinse it, and it does take off the residue. Just makes everything look so nice so quickly. So I've had this for a while and I really wasn't using it, but then when I picked it up to use it, I was just like, why have you not been using this? So I now keep it right here when I do my makeup. Sometimes I reach into that, but sometimes I also use my color switch. Let's see, next up, I don't have very many lip products, so let's go ahead and talk about those. I have 3 lip products that I want to share with you in today's video. The first one I have been having in my purse because, like I said, I'm still wearing a mask, but when I'm in my office, I will unlatch my mask and just let it hang down, so if somebody comes in I can put it up really fast. So I do like to have just a little bit of lip color on sometimes. But this is the Bare Minerals. This is their Lip Gloss Balm. And this is in the shade Sincerity. And you can see that I have been using this so much. Now, to me, I don't think that it really feels like a balm, but I just think it is a nice kind of like a glossy lip color. It's kind of not really thick, but I guess it's more substance to or more body to it than a regular lip gloss with a hint of color. So this lip balm is something that I have really been enjoying. Like I said, I like that it just has a hint of color, because at the end of the day, I know that it's going to rub off onto my mask because I'm still wearing it. So I like just having a little something on my lips, and I really enjoy the formula. It feels nice on the lips. It feels hydrating on the lips. So I have enjoyed using this. Now my next one is just a go-to lip gloss. I will just put this on like if I'm running out to the store real fast, even though I still have a mask on. But I still like to have color on my lips, or I still like to feel and know that I have lipstick or lip balm or lip gloss on. Whether or not anybody sees it, I know it's there, and that just makes me happy. So this one, I have never had anything from NYX in the way of a lip color. And when my friend Julia did her NYX products, I think it was like an advent calendar where she had a whole bunch of NYX products. This was a few years back, but she did lips and sips around Christmas time, and each day she would have a different NYX lipstick and talk to us about a different tea. And that video I will never forget, because that made me really enjoy teas, as well as it put NYX lipstick or lip gloss on my radar. So this one is just my everyday lip gloss. This is one of their butter glosses, and this is in the shade Praline. I like this so much, and it's so easy, and it just gives you the right amount of color. It's not, to me, it's a little bit deeper than the one by Bare Minerals, but I just think it looks so nice, and it's just one that you could leave in your purse, one that is like a grab and go. You don't really have to put too much effort in it. Like if you're riding down the street, you just want to put it on there. You don't have to make sure that, you know, it's all in the lines, all in the creases, because it gives you color, but it's not saturated. So you don't really have to pay. I just put it on just to know it's on. So this lip gloss feels so good. Like the name suggests, butter gloss. It is buttery smooth, and it feels so good on your lips. Nice and hydrated, nothing drying about it. It lasts a long time if you're not wearing a mask, because sometimes I have it on just around the house. But if you do have your mask on, you keep it in hand because you'll have to keep applying it. But I like this because it's, to me, no muss, no fuss. And next up, I want to talk to you about a lip liner that I have rediscovered. I don't know. I guess I forgot I bought it. Now, this is by Juvia's Place, and this is their lip liner in the shade Brownie. I forgot I had this lip gloss, and again, I saw a video and someone pulled it out, and I was like, Brownie? Do I have that brown? Do I have that shade? Sure enough, I had it. Hadn't been using it. Now, I have told you guys that these lip liners are so pigmented, and they're so smooth. They just glide on so smooth. Some of my lip liners are kind of scratchy as you apply them, but this one goes on very smooth. It's very pigmented, and this shade Brownie is just the right chocolatey shade that I like to use on my to line my lips with. It just looks so good. Sometimes you get one of those browns that don't show up enough, or one of those browns that, you know, are not rich in color, but this shade Brownie just does it. I don't even have this one on today. I have another one, but let me show y'all. It's just so pretty. Just such a pretty lip liner. It's so pretty. This is just a Milani lipstick that I have on my lips today, but this lip liner is the best. And now if you haven't tried one of these by Juvia's Place, I would recommend. I have 2 of them. I forgot the other shade, but I have 2 of these, and like I said, the formula is superb. It's just so creamy, so pigmented, and I definitely would consider picking more up. But again, this is by Juvia's Place, and this is called their Luxe Liner. Next, I guess I'll stay with lip products. The next one, and you guys have seen me use this one in some of my videos, but this is by e.l.f. And you guys know if it made it to a favorites, that's a miracle, because I don't get along with quite a few e.l.f. products. They're just not my thing. So this one happens to be one of the products that I do like. This is their Jelly Pop Juicy Gloss, and I would definitely say it is. This one I kind of keep in my little caboodle. Sometimes I use different products on my lips as I'm getting ready to film just to make sure they're moisturized. And I didn't have anything else one day, and so I just grabbed for this. And man, this showed up and showed out. It is very glossy on the lips, and it was very comfortable. It lasts a long time on the lips. I guess we'll just add this to the mix. This is the apricot scent. And I tell you, feels so comfortable. And this smells so good. I love this. But again, this is so juicy, so glossy, and it just feels so nice on your lips. So, and it's not that one where you purse your lips together and it makes those lines or anything. This doesn't do that. So comfortable. So this smells good, and I'm going to see which other ones, if it's still available, because I got this as a free item when I think I ordered the skin tint from e.l.f. I don't know if it's called a skin tint or whatever it's called, but you guys get the gist. When I ordered that online, and I got this as a free product. So if you haven't tried it, these are good. These are good, and they smell great. I do have one more skin product that I want to talk about, and the whole name has rubbed off, so of course I'll have to leave it on the screen. But this is by Belief, and I think this is called their Peach Miracle Eye Cream by Belief. And I love this eye cream. I'm almost done with this, and this makes me so sad because I really want to keep using it. This is expensive. I think the full size eye cream is like $50 something. This is so moisturizing on my under eyes. Now I haven't seen any miraculous changes to my under eyes other than I did have a dry patch on my other under eyes, and I started using this eye cream, and it just cleared it right up. Everything was showing, like my concealer and everything was just clinging onto it. It was just showing up. Powder would cling onto it. So I just started, because I had slacked off my skincare. So I had started to incorporate this, and it just cleared it right on up. Just cleared it right on up. And it just makes my under eyes feel so hydrated with this. And it has just a nice little luminous finish to it. I like this eye cream so much. So I definitely would repurchase it. I say it begrudgingly, because it's so expensive, but this is a winner in my book, and I will pick it up again. I only have one concealer that I want to talk about, and you guys can probably guess which one this one is already. It is my Tarte Shape Ultra Creamy Concealer. I have been loving this concealer, you guys, and I picked it up on a whim. I mean, I had bought it over a year ago, but I picked it up on a whim when I was doing a video, and I went in with the Laura Mercier, and that was like really close to my skin tone, and I wanted just a hint of brightness, so I went in there and got this concealer and used it. Now, it was so funny because when I purchased this, I was thinking, oh gosh, I think I picked up the wrong shade. I'm not sure of this shade. I was just iffy about it. And when I picked it up, couple of weeks ago. I have been using it ever since. And this concealer is not one that I have to be careful with. You know, like, let me make sure I don't put too much, because usually I just put just little small, but this one I can just put on. It blends out beautifully. It looks good with the setting powders that I paired with it. This is in the shade 53N. And I like that it's not drying underneath the eyes. Like I said, this is their creamy formula. I've worn it up to 8 hours. It does good, but because it's creamy, it will start to crease. So I haven't noticed major creasing, but it will crease on you if I have like a 12-hour day, which, because, you know, I work 2 jobs. So sometimes I'll put this on like at 7 o'clock in the morning, and my makeup will stay on till 8 o'clock at night. So when I have those long shifts, it will start to crease a little bit, but it's nothing like unbearable or nothing so major that it would keep me from picking this up again. This I definitely will repurchase. I like this so much, and it adds just the right amount of brightness underneath my eyes. And this is one that I don't have to manipulate with another concealer to make it work. This is just the perfect concealer that I'm loving at this moment. There's probably going to be more to come around, but I definitely do enjoy using this one. Now, the next product that I want to talk about is by Mercier, and this is in the shade Pomegranate. This is what it looks like right here. And it does come with a mirror. And this is the shade. And what made me really like this blush is because it's a little bit different than some of the blushes that I currently have. I normally stick to those berry tone blushes. And as you can see from this pomegranate shade is kind of a more pinky shade, for lack of a better word. Kind of has like a pink tone to it, and it's a little bit different than those deep berry shades that I normally go for. Very pigmented, shows up on your cheeks really nicely. And you know, I already love the Mercier formula as far as their powder, so their powdered blush I just knew would be a winner as well, and it absolutely is. I really like using this, and I like that I have something a little bit different, just a little bit different than what I normally gravitate to, which again are those berry tone blushes. So I was happy that this actually worked out for me, and that it was, you know, pigmented, because I wasn't sure because it was in the add-on. So I was like, I wonder why. But this blush actually worked out for me really well. So I'm happy that I was able to pick it up for a steal and have it be, you know, a brand that I love, and it just works out really well. Okay, so I have just a few, we're not done yet. I have just a few more products that I do want to talk to you about. So this is a Sophia and Mabel highlighter, and this is in the shade Peach Sangria. It's a satin powder highlighter. I really like it. I don't think it's really showing up on screen, the true color of it. Here it is, right here. You can see that peachy tone to it. And I don't really have very many highlighters like this that have like the peach tone, because I never really thought that would be something that looked good on my skin tone. I actually thought this was just going to be too light. So that's why I immediately wanted to just put it in my giveaway. But this shows up really nicely. It's not really glitter. It's not really a glitter highlighter, but it just as a high shine, but nothing overwhelming. You know, some of those highlighters you put on, I'm going to be talking about one in just a minute, but some of the highlighters you put on are just bam, beaming. This one is not that kind of highlighter. It just looks really nice. The shade, that peachy tone to it, looks good on my skin tone, and I'm glad that I didn't give this away. Sorry that you guys missed out. It was one in the giveaway, but I'm so happy that I ripped the box and I decided to keep it, because I like this highlighter quite a bit. Just looks so good, and I'm happy to have it. Now, I do have, like I said, one of those highlighters that is very beaming, and it's by the brand LYS. And this is in the shade Aim High. This is what it looks like. This is more or less what it looks like right here. Now it does come with a mirror as well. And I just knew that I wanted to try more products by LYS, and I still do. But so I picked this up. I picked this up from Sephora, and I said, well, let's try the highlighter. I had no idea that this was going to be such a beaming highlighter, you guys. I had no idea. This highlighter, you can see for miles. It is, but it's pretty. It's so pretty. And this is like a shade that I don't have as well. This kind of looks like, on camera to me, what I'm seeing, kind of looks like a peachy gold shade. When I just look at it dead on, I wouldn't think it would be the shade that it is, but it is kind of like that peachy gold, but I'll swatch it and you'll see. But this is such a pretty highlighter, and it melts into the skin. It's not one of those glitter highlighters, you know, where you have the little particles and stuff falling off your skin. It's smooth, but it is amped up. Amped up, like it is bam. You can see this. So once in a while when I'm filming, you know, for the sake of videos, I try to go sometimes above and beyond my everyday look. And when I do that, you know, I bring out the guns. You know, in my normal life, I think I have worn this, but like really laid back. But in videos, you know, when I want to, you know, put my best foot forward, or, you know, try to go above just an everyday look, then I definitely would pick this up. And whew, this thing is not playing. This is a beautiful highlighter, and if you like those beaming to the gods highlighter, I would definitely pick this up because you will not be disappointed. And while we're on the LYS train, I got this bronzer from LYS in the shade No Limits. I'm so hungry, y'all. I gotta hurry. This is called No Limits, and it also, again, comes with the mirror. And this is what the bronzer looks like. Look at that. Isn't that just pretty? Now, of all my bronzers, and you know I've done a bronzer showdown, and I think I ranked my bronzers. But in my bronzers so far, this bronzer tone, the undertone of this bronzer, I like so much. The undertone of it looks great. It's not red. It's doesn't get muddy looking when you apply it. It's just the perfect undertone to me for a bronzer. It's like that milk chocolate, like milk chocolate shade. And this, to me, I just like it so much. I just don't think I don't think it's like too warm, not too reddish, not too orange looking. It's just the perfect tone. And this would easily, probably, maybe, if I rank my bronzers again, this maybe fall right into that #1 slot, because this I love. I just love the tone of it. So this actually was a good buy from BoxyCharm. That's before they merged with Ipsy. Okay, I hope I'm still good. I had to go get a drink. Next, I want to talk to you about a rediscovered love. You know, that's really the reason why I like shopping my stash. My channel is not so much a channel where I am hauling new products all the time, or, you know, I'm running out. As soon as something drops, I'm getting it to review on my channel. My channel is kind of geared to where, yes, I do have hauls periodically. I do like the latest and greatest products, but I don't normally run out as soon as they drop to give a review. I'll pick them up probably later on down the line, and then I'll use it in a get ready with me video. But I typically love using the products that I already have in my collection, because I feel like I purchased them. I don't want them to be a one-time use thing where I just use it one time and then you don't see it anymore, or I don't wear it anymore. So I like shopping my stash for the products that I already have in my collection. So with that said, I have a foundation that I was using before I actually did a shop my stash this last time, because I hadn't done one of those in a long time. But I had picked up this foundation. I'm not sure if I had used it in a video, and prior to that I hadn't used it in a while. And I picked up this foundation and was just like, why did I stop using this? I love revisiting products that I haven't used in a while. And this foundation that I'm going to talk to you about happens to be one of those products. It is by the brand Rare Beauty. This is Selena Gomez's brand. And this is a serum foundation. But I like this foundation. Like I said, it is a serum foundation. I have the shade 460W. And this, when I put this foundation on, it just reminded me of why I purchased it, why I bought it. I bought it because it was a serum foundation, and because actually I was curious about it because it was all the rage on YouTube. The whole brand was all the rage. Everybody was talking about Selena Gomez, Rare Beauty. So I wanted to try it for myself, and because it was a serum foundation. And when I put this on my skin, in my prior video where I busted it out, like I said, I hadn't used it in a long time. I just fell in love with this foundation all over again. I fell in love with it, and I used it like for weeks straight. No other foundation. I was just using this one all the time. This just looks so good. So good. I think it's because it has those skin loving benefits in it that make it look so good on the skin. And I just, like I said, I wore it after I did that video. I wore it around the clock. So this one, I probably would repurchase it, and that I'm glad I have in my collection. Glad about it. Okay, so I have 3 more products to talk to you about. And let's talk about one that didn't make it to my top 5 powders, because I could only choose 5, but I told you I still have some other ones that I wish I could have included. But this is by Beauty Bakery. It's their bite-sized powder. Right here is called the Pinch of Flour. And I have this powder in the shade Almond, and in parenthesis it has Chestnut. But this powder, I didn't really, I wasn't blown away by it when I initially bought it. I bought this powder at Target, and I really wasn't blown away, but I did want to try something from Beauty Bakery. And I have the powder addiction. So I picked up this powder while I was in there. And like I said, I used it. It was okay. I wasn't blown away by it. But I set it aside and didn't use it for a while. And then when I went to pick it up again, it's too deep to be an under eye setting powder. But I know they have some more shades that would work out for that. But this, when I picked it up again, I used it all over the skin. Well, I think every time I used it, I've used it all over the skin to set down my foundation. And one day in particular, when I was doing that, I was just saying, man, this looks good. And I started using it. I put it in my shop, my stash, and I just fell in love with it. So the brand in general hasn't been a brand that I really found a lot of products that I'm actually, really in love with, or really can't wait to rush out and buy. But this powder was a good buy, and I'm glad I picked this up. Very affordable. The bite-sized one was very affordable. And like I said, picked it up at my local Target. Now the next 2 products are powders as well. Sure, you're not surprised to see either one of these. So the first one is my Sephora powder. This is a translucent setting powder. And I got this, not during this most recent Sephora sale, but I think the one before that. And so again, picked it up, thought it was okay, wasn't blown away by it. But once I started picking it up again and pairing it with this ultra creamy Shape Tape foundation, it was love at first sight. I love this so much, and the two work so good together. I have hit pan on some of my pressed powders, but I've never emptied a loose setting powder. But I would not be surprised if this right here would be one that I would empty, because this and this together is just a perfect match. And this is not giving me flashback. It's very smooth on the under eyes, and it just looks so good. And so I like this powder a lot. It makes my under eyes last long, especially with the ultra creamy formula. So that might be why I'm not getting creasing like immediately. But this is such a great powder, so affordable, and a lot of people love this powder and rave about it. So I had to try it, and I am not sad about it whatsoever. I'm happy I picked this up because this has been great. And this would be a powder, if I ever emptied it, this would be one that I would repurchase. And for my final powder, I picked this powder up for a different reason. I didn't pick it up to wear as an all over face powder. I actually picked this powder up to set my under eyes with, and I think I did use it like that initially, but I find that I just like this shade more as an all over face powder. And this is my Makeup Forever powder, and I have the shade, this is their HD, this is their Ultra HD setting powder. This has a matte finish. I don't know if this one by Sephora does. No, it says that this is, and this is probably why this one by Sephora works so well. It says it's a lightweight translucent setting powder. And it reduces oil, well, it absorbs oil and reduces shine. So that's the key to why it works so well with this. Now this powder here is a matte powder. It's a matte setting powder, which doesn't bother me. You know, I don't like for my complexion to always look matte. I do like, you know, especially in the summer, to have my complexion be matte, but it's just about the products that I use. If I use something matte, I will include something probably luminous. You know, I like to have a balance with that, because I don't want it to look matte and drying. But this is a matte powder right here. I bought it to use up underneath my eyes, but I did use it that way, but I think it's just the shade. Really, the shade goes well, but I just found that I used it a lot to set my foundation. I liked it a lot better setting my foundation as opposed to being a setting powder for my under eyes. And it probably has to do with the shade. The shade looks perfect. The shade is perfect for my complexion, but I probably would like something just a little hint brighter for my under eyes. Now I haven't used it as an under eye setting powder since I bought it, so it makes me curious to want to see how that looks again with different concealers. So I may try it, and it may work out well, but for now I've just been using it to set my foundation. Now this is a matte powder, but it is not drying. It is a blurring powder, and it is a smoothing powder. It looks really good on the complexion. So I just like the Makeup Forever brand in general. So this powder is the final product that I wanted to talk to you in today's video that are considered my yays, are the products that I've enjoyed using so much. Now I do have two products that are my nays, products that I don't like. So one of these products is this Trestique. This is a foundation stick, and this is in the shade West Indies Walnut. It's this one right here. It does look deep enough to be a perfect contour product, but when I put it on the skin, I did not like it. I did not like the tone. I guess it was the undertone. It kind of looked gray. So because of that, this is just not a favorite of mine. I've used it maybe 2 to 3 times trying to see if it really looked good. I think it's just the undertone of it. It just didn't look good to me, and I don't like it. So I am going to declutter this. I don't know if they have any other shades, but this seemed like it would be perfect, a perfect shade for a contour. And I got the deepest one. Got this from BoxyCharm, and I got the deepest one that they had to offer. So this is a declutter product for me. I'm not keeping it. I did not enjoy using that. And I do have one other product, again from BoxyCharm. This is the Pinky Rose. It's called Hip Hop. Now this is supposed to be an eyeshadow, or you can use it as a lid primer and put eyeshadow on top of it. Well, I knew that I would never use this as an eyeshadow. This shade, I said I never will use that as an eyeshadow. And so I said, well, this will be cool. I can try to use it as an eye primer and, you know, put my shadow on top. But that didn't work out for me either. I did not like the way it looked, trying to add on top of it. It just didn't look good. So I didn't enjoy trying to use it in that manner as well. So I feel like since I can't really use it as an eyeshadow or as an eye primer, that I have no use for it. So this product I didn't enjoy using, and it's just going to be decluttered. So I have two products that were nays, or products that I didn't really enjoy using. And all the rest of my products that I shared with you in today's video were all winners. So that's not bad. Two nays and all the rest of these were yays. That's not bad at all. I hope today's video hasn't been too long, but like I said, I haven't done one of these types of videos in quite a while, so I just wanted to share with you some products that I may have been using behind the scenes, or that I may have used with you on camera that I actually really enjoyed. If you have any of these products in your collection and you want to give them a shout out below, please do so. Let me know how you have been enjoying them. And if you did enjoy today's video, I hope you will consider subscribing to the channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and ringing the notification bell. It just lets you know each and every time that I upload a video. And share the channel, because you know I don't mind. And lastly, please know that you're always welcomed and wanted here on my channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.